Hello, my name is Ulla. You may remember me from those days of living on a narrowboat in the British countryside. But after a couple of years back on dry land, I've now got itchy feet. So I'm attempting to build a stealth micro-camper to get myself back into nature and back to a nomadic way of life. This week, I'm waking up in my little stealth camper for the very first time and setting off on another adventure through one of Derbyshire's most magical landscapes. We'll explore the Hidden Druid Caves, wander across the ancient landscape of Stanton Moor, and visit the beautiful Nine Ladies Stone Circle, uncovering over 4,000 years of history, folklore, and our enduring connection to the land. And of course, it wouldn't be one of my adventures if everything went completely to plan. I'm completely lost, and I have no idea how to get out of this. But sometimes getting a little lost leads to the greatest discoveries. There it is! Ah! So join me as van life continues to open the door to Britain's ancient landscapes, timeless stories, and unforgettable adventures. Good morning. Wow, I've been lying here for the past half an hour. This bed is so comfortable. I am pleased to report that I had a very peaceful night's sleep. Super cozy and quiet, peaceful. Couldn't have asked for a better night's sleep in the van. I need to get out of bed, and the reason I've not gotten out yet is because I just keep thinking about how awkward it is with all of this stuff everywhere to make a cup of tea. Of course, it's not safe to turn the gas on unless I open a door, and it's pretty fresh. I can feel that it's pretty cool this morning, so I'm so glad I brought my big chunky quilt with me, because it's really cool up here on this hill. The next step is to drag myself out of this cozy cocoon, but it's going to be worth it. My first morning cup of tea in the van. This is what I mean. There's just stuff everywhere. Also, the problem with a small van is that you can't really remember where you put anything. I don't know where I've put a jumper. So I'm just going to have to wear a little jacket if I can find it. Whew. Okay. Get out! Bug just flew straight in. It's not the most mega view. It's peaceful, and it's nature, and it's beautiful. And it's a pretty grey day. I don't think I brought clothes for this kind of weather. I definitely didn't bring a raincoat. It is so much cooler today. This is the only jacket I brought. Time for tea. This kettle is not the best for pouring. Look at that. Bloody ridiculous lip. This is quite lovely, actually. I've got to say there's something quite magical about sitting here with it feeling as cool as it does this morning outside. It feels quite cosy and maybe a bit more magical than it would be if it was really hot already. I think it is going to get warmer later on today, but it's reminding me a little bit about living on the boat and those cooler mornings when I'd sit out on the stern drinking my cup of tea in the morning. This here, sitting in the back of the van, this is just as I imagined it would be. It's really quiet. There are so many vans here, but no one's making a peep. I can see doors open and people doing things, but everyone's being very quiet this morning, which is so lovely. But yeah, it feels very wonderful to be sat here in nature with a cup of tea first thing in the morning, in my space, in my little home that I created, feeling very grateful, very thankful. Oh yeah. So after this cup of tea, I'm going to get dressed, go for a little walk. I believe that there's a little stone circle close to here called the Nine Ladies. So I'm going to go and check that out, I think. And then there are some standing stones and yeah, some other bits and pieces to do in the area. I haven't got loads of time this morning. So yeah, we'll see how we get on and yeah, take it one step at a time, going slowly and try not to fill this trip with too many things. That's what I'm really hoping to do with this van, is to allow things to unfold as they occur naturally in my life. I feel like I've been such an over planner, which has caused a lot of stress and anxious feelings in the body for many years, and I'm trying to allow this next chapter to unfold in any way that it feels like it needs to, in the right way that's beneficial to me, and that feels very, very good. So one step at a time. All right, we are off. Well, when I say we, I say me and you. I love traveling solo, I've got to say. It is such a wonderful thing to do, because when you have these beautiful moments and experiences, I mean, it's lovely to share with people, don't get me wrong. But I sometimes see it as, you know, instead of diluting that experience by turning to somebody and sharing and saying, oh, wow, look at this. Oh, did you see that? Da, da, da. Instead of doing all of that, you're holding onto the experience, you're keeping it inside of you, and you're able to just stop and be there and think, wow, I'm getting to experience this all for myself. So yes, anyway, off on this little walk this morning. I'm heading towards the Hidden Druid Caves, which is this beautiful woodland walk. It's so, so gorgeous. There's all of these rocky mounds everywhere, huge stones, wow. So yeah, it's apparently not too far a walk from my park up. I'm going to go there and then after that have some breakfast back at the van and then go and check out the stone circle. That is about, I think, about a 20-minute walk away. So yeah, let's go and check out the Hidden Druid Caves. This walk is incredibly beautiful. It's just so gorgeous. It's not even a particularly sunny morning, but it's stunning. I mean, look at this. So I've just spoken to a lovely gentleman outside the pub who has advised me that if I go through the gravelly part of the car park here and I walk up this very overgrown
it is up there, but I say it's a bit all overgrown.
Yeah? Excellent. Well, I'll check it out. Thanks for your help. That's him there. What a lovely man. So if I got this path here, it's very overgrown, but I should be able to find it. Okay, let's do this climb. One-handed. Wow. So beautiful here. I wonder how long these have been here for. It's incredibly peaceful up here. Hear the crows, the ravens, other little birds tweeting, some sounds going on in the distance, what's happening in the town. I can see this becoming quite the playground. If you grew up here as a child, there's so much to see. Lots of places to sit and hang out. It's very cool. Hidden above the beautiful village of Birchover in Derbyshire's Peak District lies one of the most mysterious places, Rowtor Rocks, better known as the Hidden Druid Caves. These ancient sandstone rocks have stood here for millions of years, while people have walked among them for thousands. For generations, stories have linked this place with the Druids, imagining these hidden chambers as spaces for sacred rituals, seasonal ceremonies, and quiet communion with the natural world. Whether those stories began with memory, symbolism, or something now lost to time, isn't it beautiful to think that these traditions can live on through the legends we choose to keep alive? As you wander through the narrow passages and weathered caves, it's easy to understand why this place has inspired such wonder. There is an unmistakable stillness here, a feeling that invites you to slow down, to listen, and to imagine those who may have gathered here long before us, honouring the changing seasons and the land beneath their feet. Over the centuries, countless visitors have left their mark by carving their names into the sandstone. I even found one inscription reading E. Jewett, 1875, a name that has remained here for more than 150 years, quietly reminding us that every generation leaves behind its own story. Whether you come seeking history, folklore, or simply a deeper connection with the landscape, the Hidden Druid Caves offer something truly special. Places like these remind us that not every truth is found in artifact. Sometimes it lives in the stories that echo through the land, passed from one generation to the next, inviting us to wonder what memories these ancient stones still hold. You can see a few seats up here, just here. They probably have some sort of significance, which I'm going to find out later when I do some research, but I'm going to have a seat. These carved sandstone seats have overlooked this landscape for centuries. Believed to have been carved by Reverend Thomas Eyre in the 1700s, they're a beautiful reminder that some places are not just meant to be explored, but to be experienced. It's quite comfortable actually, especially with these armrests. I wonder how many people have sat here before. And not just people like in our time, but wow. Aside from the very loud machinery that you can hear in the distance there, I don't know if you can hear it, rumbling away on the horizon, it's actually incredibly peaceful up here. It's such a special spot, you know, we're atop a hill here, surrounded by all of these stones that potentially were considered as sacred stones, a sacred place to gather. And I can imagine that the Druids who would have gathered here, I mean, Druidism is an incredibly old Celtic religious and spiritual belief system that has survived and still is practiced to this day in these lands for, I think it's like over 2,000 years. So if we are sat in this spot right now, one, I may be seated in a place that, well, many people would have sat in, obviously, but potentially those druids who were performing ritual or ceremony for people to gather, because it's the perfect place to be seated and have people around. I just love that about this country. I feel very kind of connected to Celtic history and learning about the lives of our ancestors in these lands. It feels very connected to my heart and to my spirit. So being here right now and starting to kind of imagine who has spent time in this space performing those sacred rituals and ceremonies, and for who and for what and for why. That is just such an incredible thought. And of course, it's the most wonderful setting. Going in, see if we can fit. Oh! Second thoughts, I'm not going down there. Not quite sure I'd fit down there with all the camera gear. Okay, first little bit of breakfast in the van. That was such a beautiful walk through the woodland there, and then past the Druid Inn pub. What a gorgeous little pub. Couldn't go in because it wasn't open yet, so I would have loved to have stopped for a cup of tea on my way back, but alas, it wasn't open. And then onto those Druid Caves. So beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous. What a wonderful way to start the morning. Now back at the van, I've just made myself a yummy breakfast, and then head to the stone circle. Like, could there be anything better? That is a yummy breakfast. When you go camping or off in your van, or what's your go-to breakfast? I do love porridge. I used to eat porridge a lot when I lived on the boat, and when we go off traveling in the van, but it's not that great for you. So kefir yogurt is very good for you. And some nuts and seeds, nut butter and some fruit. Yum. Lovely way to start the day. Yes, so I'm gonna eat this and I'm gonna go visit Stone Circle. I mean, today, could it be getting any better? Sun is shining, I'm in the shade, my cozy home. Not bad. Woohoo! Just left the van, off on another little adventure this morning, heading towards the Nine Ladies Stone Circle. My offline maps have decided to stop working, and I have no phone reception around here. So I'm hopefully gonna find my way. When I looked yesterday, it said it was a 20-minute walk. So hopefully it wasn't a 20-minute drive that I saw. I think I'm heading in the right direction. And let's see what we find on this glorious sunny day. Just as you enter Stanton Moor, there's this really handy plug that tells you a little bit about the history of this place. And then I believe that the Corkstone and the Stone Circle are in this direction. And according to this map, there is more than one Stone Circle here. You've got the South Circle, central circle, the Nine Ladies Circle, which is the one I was aware of, and the North Circle. So there's quite a lot to see on Stanton Moor. Standing proudly on Stanton Moor is one of Derbyshire's most fascinating natural wonders, the Corkstone. This enormous sandstone boulder has been shaped by the forces of nature over thousands of years, weathered by wind, rain, and time. Rising from the landscape like an ancient sentinel, it's easy to understand why this place has captured human imagination for generations. Although we may never truly know how prehistoric people viewed this remarkable stone, its presence within a landscape filled with ancient monuments and Bronze Age remains has led many to believe it held a deeper significance, perhaps a place of gathering, ceremony, or connection with the natural world. Local folklore has long associated the Corkstone with the Druids, imagining it as a sacred place where ancient rituals may have taken place beneath the open skies. While these stories belong to legend rather than proven history, there is something undeniably powerful about standing beside a stone that has witnessed thousands of years of human footprints. The iron climbing staples you see today are a much later addition, once allowing visitors to climb this incredible formation. Today, however, the Corkstone is protected and climbing is no longer permitted, allowing this remarkable piece of natural heritage to be preserved for future generations. Beneath those modern touches remains something far older, a stone shaped by the earth itself, standing quietly as a reminder of our ancient connection to this landscape. So we have to make a decision to take that route down there, that path, or that path. I have a feeling that they would all lead to the same place. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? Finding which way you want to go and seeing where the route takes you. I'm going to go for the middle path. It's getting incredibly warm, but thankfully there's a breeze. It's quite a special day. Woo! And I've put some sandals on and it's sandstone everywhere, so it's quite slippery and it's not the easiest terrain to walk on, so it might take me a little bit longer than planned. For more than 4,000 years, people have been drawn to Stanton Moor. They came to gather, to remember, to mark the changing seasons, and perhaps to seek something greater than themselves. As I walk these ancient paths today, I can't help but wonder how many footsteps have fallen here before mine, and how many stories of these sacred landscapes still seem to linger on the wind. Another decision to make. I've just come from here and the option is there or there, but I think the stone circle is there. So let's go this way. Changed my mind, we're going this way. It's incredibly peaceful walking through the moors, but what's so crazy is that sound really travels. I could hear voices before and there was no one. So it's either I'm hearing ancient voices or there's somebody further in the moorlands and the sound is just carrying through the wind. But I'm gonna say that it was the first option. Maybe right now I'm surrounded by those spirits that lived here and spent time here and performed rituals and ceremonies here 4,000 years ago. I am most definitely wearing the wrong clothes for this. My goodness, there is a lot of gorse on this trail, and it's not really a trail anymore. I've kind of gone off piste because I couldn't find the way. It's probably incredibly straightforward, but apparently not for me. But it's incredibly beautiful, this route that I'm just taking, but sandals and linen trousers are not quite the best idea, unfortunately. This is the current trail I'm following. This is probably just a deer track. Yep, it's definitely a deer track because that's where it leads. Right. we're going to have to reassess what on earth we're doing and how to get back out of here, because there's no real route back. Okay, after that hot and sweaty interlude, I'm officially boiling. If it had been a cold, wet and dark day, that would have been pretty scary. But it's not, it's lovely and warm and I'm feeling fine. Anyway, I'm back on the track and I have managed to get a teeny bit of signal to sort of load where it is on the map. And I think it's just up here. Oh, there it is. Ah! Okay, I found it. Oh. Here we are, the Nine Ladies Stone Circle. Nestled within the ancient landscape of Stanton Moor lies one of Derbyshire's most enchanting sacred places, the Nine Ladies Stone Circle. For almost 4,000 years, these stones have stood quietly beneath open skies, witnessing the passing of countless generations. Built during the Bronze Age, their true purpose has been lost to time, yet many believe that this was a place of ceremony, remembrance, and celebration, where communities gathered to honour the changing seasons, the cycles of nature, and their connection to the land. Local legend tells a different story. It is said that 9 women were dancing here on the Sabbath, defying the sacred day, and were turned to stone for their disobedience. Somewhere nearby, a solitary outlying stone is often known as the King's Stone, or in some tellings, the fiddler who played the music that kept the dancers moving. Whether history or folklore, these stories have become woven into the spirit of this remarkable place. Standing watch beside the stones is a magnificent oak tree, its branches stretching protectively alongside the ancient stones, almost as though it has become their quiet guardian. Around its limbs, ribbons, offerings, and small tokens have been lovingly tied by visitors seeking a moment of reflection, gratitude, or spiritual connection. Each one is a gentle reminder that even after thousands of years, this remains a place where people are drawn to pause, to honour the land, and to feel part of something far older than themselves. There is a quiet reverence here that is difficult to put into words. Whether you come for its archaeology, its folklore, or simply the feeling of standing within a landscape shaped by thousands of years of human belief, the Nine Ladies continues to hold its mystery close, inviting each visitor to discover their own connection with these ancient stones. So you can see here a very handy timeline that shows you the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, and then we have the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. And so this beautiful monument, this incredibly sacred site, has been standing here for 4,000 years. Just found myself this lovely little spot here next to the stone circle underneath this mighty oak tree where people have left offerings and gifts. There's a little wind chime blowing in the breeze. When you spend time in a place like this, you can really get a sense as to why our ancestors wanted to spend time and perform ritual and ceremony here, because it's incredibly peaceful. You can hear a very, very, very slight hum in the distance of maybe a car or two, but imagine 4,000 years ago, none of that would have existed. There was a time when I was living on the narrowboat where we would moor up in a new spot. And when we were travelling through Wiltshire, there was many, many sacred sites there. And Josh and I would visit them, or I would often visit them independently and spend quite a lot of time there. And I started a really special and sacred project to me back then. Since leaving the boat, I stopped doing it. So this is getting me quite excited to want to do it again. And I think this might be the first place that I instigate it. Yeah. I'll share details one day. All right, so I think that concludes this week's video. My first little adventure in my new little camper. It's not quite finished yet, there's much to be done, but it's been pretty splendid so far. Before I sign off from this video, I want to tell you all about something I've decided to do, and that is start a Patreon page. And that is because I'm determined to share with you all more behind the scenes clips, photos. I'm going to be putting together a Google Maps recommendation of all the places that I visit in the van, so that if you ever make it to these parts of the UK, you can reference my videos and then find the locations of where I've stayed or where I've visited on these maps. And that's all going to be included in Patreon, as well as much, much more. So I really hope that some of you will decide to join me over there. I'll leave a link in the description below and we'll see how we go. I'm very excited at the potential and very, very looking forward to sharing more with you all there. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Just look at this. Stunning. So as I was saying, if you would like to join my Patreon community, there's a link in the description below. I'd love to have you. I'd love to see you over there to be able to share more of my experiences, more of me and more of my life with you all. And yeah, and that's it. So sending you all so much love. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Thanks for sticking with me as I navigate getting back to these videos. I'm absolutely loving being back. I'm loving all of your comments, all of your kind words, well wishes. This community is very, very special. So thank you for joining me. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and perhaps leave a comment below as well. Give me any recommendations of where you think that I should travel to next. I'm well up for it. Sending you all so much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.